Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Star Wars 2023 Ghost and Phantom 2 from the Ahsoka series. It is set number 75357, comes with 1,394 pieces, including 5 figures, and retails for $160, and is exclusive to the LEGO store and Amazon. Taking a look at the box art, you've got the usual black Lego piece look with the teal stripe, signifying that this is from the Ahsoka series. In fact, you can see the Ahsoka figure down in the bottom left corner, and the box art shows off both ships, the Ghost and the Phantom, in their full glory, flying over a planet, possibly Peridea. In fact, and on top of that, you can see Shin Hati's starfighter up there, basically top middle of the box, right there by the Star Wars logo. This is just some beautiful box art, and of course you can see all 5 figures in the bottom right corner as well. First Officer Hawkins, Lieutenant Beta, and then the 3 big ones for this set: General Hera Syndulla, Jacen Syndulla, and Chopper. That is there aren't a whole lot of the big names you would expect from the Ahsoka series, but they are some good ones. In fact, the top of the box has a 1:1 scale image of Lieutenant Beta. Nothing much going on the left and right, but on the back of the box, you can once again see the full ship, along with a lot of the functionality, such as being able to fire a couple of spring-loaded shooters connected to the main gun, and the ability to open this ship up pretty well for a ship of its size. Much more than you were able to do with the 2014 version of the same ship from Rebels. This does have the tape on it, so you don't have to ruin the box to get it open. So let's go ahead and get that open. There we go. So I imagine with there being almost 1,400 pieces, there's going to be a lot of bags in this. So let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, let me swing this over here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bags in total, and one really big instruction manual in one of these usual file folders for when it comes to the larger sets. There's actually quite a bit of tape on this thing as well. Oh wait, no, it's not tape. It's just sealed pretty well. Ooh, I imagine the sticker sheet is in here as well. Yes, it is. And that is a lot of stickers. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is that one sticker? Yeah, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Total of 19 stickers. Oh, wait. And there's actually a second sticker sheet here for the Phantom 2. So, wait. That's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 stickers in total. Wow, that's a lot of stickers. Okay, so, once again, we have the large instruction manual with a CGI rendering of the set. And open it up. You've got the Lego Builder app, and once again, the ad for the paper bags, which once again, paper bags don't show up. Just jump straight into the build. Open up the back. You've got a very large piece sheet. Actually, it's 3 pages, and it does show off a total of 4 sets, that being itself, the other 2 Ahsoka TV series sets, the Ahsoka's T6 Jedi Shuttle, and then the E-Wing and Shin Hati Starfighter, and the Coruscant Guard gunship. Alright, so I have obviously got a lot of building to do. This is probably going to be the longest time lapse I have done on this channel so far, but I will be doing a time lapse, and that will start right now. Alright, the build is finally done. This was a day-long project, though quite a bit different than what I usually do. Honestly, I wasn't sure if my phone had enough storage space to be able to cover the whole time lapse in one video. So basically, I broke it up by broke up the time lapse in sections by bag, with the exception of the last section, which covered both bags 12 and 13. But this was quite a long, quite an enjoyable build. There's basically every type of building technique in this you can think of, and again, it was 1,400 pieces, and wow, the results speak for themselves. This thing looks fantastic. So we've obviously got a lot of ground to cover, so we will start, as I usually do, with the figures. Alright, so our first minifigure in the order that you make him, we have Lieutenant Beta. He looks pretty darn good, actually. That Montgomery head looks pretty good. Love all the details of the lighter orange up on top. The eyes look pretty good. I think it's the same head mold they use for Admiral Akbar. I don't really know, but he looks pretty good. And he's in the classic New Republic flight suit in with the blue and white. Hey, lots of details on here. You got the life support system here in here in the middle with hoses going everywhere. He's got a pouch on his right side. The straps go all the way down to the legs, and they don't even look all that miscolored. Like, it's a little bit, but it's not super noticeable. The addition of just a little bit of metallic gray at the buckles on the straps. Has no printing on the arms, and the pretty basic printing on the back. And he's got himself the classic Lego Star Wars Han Solo style blaster. For a character who I honestly don't even remember making an appearance, he looks pretty good. And next up, we have the old faithful droid from Rebels, C110P, aka Chopper. He looks pretty good as well. When it comes to astromech droids, one thing that Lego's always had a bit of a problem with is getting the line at the bottom of the dome to be as flat as they can get. And this time they did a pretty darn good job. The line on the front of the dome looks pretty good, and as do all the instruments on the front. The print doesn't go all the way around, but the back of the print looks pretty good as well. Same with the torso print on both the front and back, and he's got his stubby stubby little legs because he's quite a bit shorter than R2. Plus, he's got a bunch of instruments on the front as well. You can see his mechanical arm right there in the middle. He looks pretty good. And just for fun, I got the chopper from the original Phantom 2 as well. Just to compare, I think the biggest comparison is that the one from the Ghost and Phantom 2 is quite a bit brighter than the one from the original Phantom 2. It's a bright orange dome instead of a dark. His torso is white instead of gray, and it's a bit of a lighter gray, and the legs are a bit of a lighter gray than the older one. His instruments have changed up a bit. I think it's mainly because he's got since he's Earth, the New Republic, he's gotten quite a bit cleaned up and fixed up since his Rebel days. The one upside that the older Chopper has is that the print on the dome goes all the way around and even on top of his head. So yeah, I thought that would be an interesting comparison between the two. And next up, we have Jacen Syndulla. Ironically, one thing everyone's pointed out with this figure is that, much like his father, they messed up his hair. This is supposed to be green, instead the minifigure is brown. People honestly thought that when this set came out, much like the original Ghost, that they would re-release the set with Kanan to have his accurate color hair. But here we are in 2024. Apparently this says getting ready to retire, and Lego hasn't done that. So yeah, if you're waiting for a accurate color haired Jacen, I don't think that's actually gonna happen. Anyway, other than that, he looks pretty accurate to what you see in the show. No arm printing. He's got the kid legs, so that's pretty accurate. No printing on those, but his torso printing looks pretty good. Like the details on the jacket, just a little bit of metallic gray on his belt buckle. Back of it looks pretty good as well. Interesting hairpiece, but it's pretty accurate. And he does have a second face, which is a much more neutral smile. But with the exception of the wrong colored hair, this is a pretty good first rendition of Jacen Syndulla as a Lego minifigure. And next up, we have First Officer Hawkins. I do like his torso print, his uniform. It actually kind of reminds me of General Nadine, from Return of the Jedi. So nice continuity there, but it is pretty simple. I do like the metallic gray on the rank insignia and on the belt buckle. Once again, pretty simple. Printing, no arm or leg printing. Pretty simple printing on the back, and as you see, no alternate face, as that hairpiece wouldn't cover it up. But for a guy who didn't show up all that much, this is a pretty good interpretation of the character, despite having not a whole lot of printing. But if you want a character like great printing, take a look at our final and most certainly the standout figure in this set. We have General Hera Syndulla. She's got printing all over the place. Like, she's got her goggles printed on her helmet. This is all one piece. It's not dual molded. But it looks pretty good. Shaping is good. The attention to detail on the Leku is fantastic, and the helmet is just big enough to hide the fact that she's got a second angrier face, like much more action focused. I do taking off the helmet again, you can get a good look at the back print, where you got just a little bit of the fur on the top of the jacket, plus an interesting symbol on the back. Can't really make out what it is. Let me know if you guys know what it. Let me know if you guys know what it is. But take a look again at the front of the torso. She's got her general insignia on there, and again a little bit more of the fur at the top of the jacket. Torso printing looks pretty solid, as does the leg printing, with more metallic gray on the belt buckles, and I believe those are supposed to be code cylinders. There's attached to her legs. I could be wrong. But overall, this is a fantastic looking character, and of course, she's got another Han Solo style blaster pistol. That's definitely the standout character for me when it comes to this set. She looks fantastic. So, before we go on to the Ghost itself, we of course have to take a look at its utility ship / shuttle, the Phantom 2. Of course, this is the second version of the Phantom. First one got destroyed at the Season 3 premiere of Rebels, so this is the Trade Federation Cepheid class shuttle version of the Phantom. And it looks pretty darn fantastic. Despite how small it is, it literally fits in my hand, but it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Quite a bit of detailing on the ship, whether it be brick build or stickers, because you got a sticker on the front here, one here on the top, two on the glass itself, two on the side panels here, two on the fin at the top with the Morai owl, and then one teeny tiny one back here in the back. You can see the engines here. There's something bouncing around in there, and that's because they got one of these little bitty cargo crates built in. You can open it up. You've got a pair of macro binoculars and a Han Solo style blaster pistol in the metallic gray. So obviously not as big, not much cargo space, but they do give you a little bit, and you got some brick built laser cannons on the back. You do have just a little bit of space here, so if you want, you can take Chopper's head off and just pop him on there. Not quite exactly where he goes on the actual ship. He would actually go right about here, but it's just enough space in there, and the cockpit opens, and as you can see, I got Hera sitting in there, showing you how she fits in there. The box shows only Jacen in the cockpit. So I gotta admit, I was a little nervous. I was like, is this specifically built for Jacen? Is it too big for anybody else? So of course I had to check with someone else. So yeah, you can see I've got Hera in there. The cockpit closed up just fine. So if the person with quite possibly the most complicated headpiece in the set can fit in here, you can probably fit just about anyone you want in here. It is a bit cramped, and of course, with the ship being so small, but she does fit in there just fine. And just for another fun little comparison, I do have the Rebels Season 3 version of the same ship. But right here you can check. I'll leave a link to my review of that in the description of this one, and you can see just how much smaller this new version of the Phantom 2 is. Of course, so it can actually attach to the Ghost in this set. And of course, and this one was, well, a bit big. This one was kind of able to attach to the original version, but as you can see, this one is quite a bit smaller than the original version. Alright, that is my review on the Phantom itself. Let's move on to the Ghost. And here is the Ghost itself. One thing I forgot to mention about the Phantom build, of the 13 bags, only bag 1 is used to build the Phantom 2. So a dozen bags worth of parts went into this build. Of the 1,400, I wouldn't be too surprised if around 1,250 or 1,300 of those pieces went into this build. So quite an extensive build, and and it leaves quite the footprint as well. From docking port to docking port, you're looking at about 10 and a half inches, and from the front bubble glass all the way to the back of the farthest engines, that's about 14. That's about 14 inches. So this is a pretty big build, and she looks about as fantastic as you could ask for a play scale build. Oh, I love it, like the color scheme between the sand gray, the sand blue, a little bit of metallic gray, plus some like orange yellow combo with just a dash of red. It's a good color combination, but it doesn't get too overwhelming. And like I said, this is quite an extensive build. It is a very large set. The engines are pretty beefy, pretty good size. And like the other Ghosts, you can dock the Phantom in the back, just like so. There's a 2x2 plate with a jumper in the middle, and then a Technic rod behind that, and that just sits in there like so. One thing I am a little disappointed about is the fact that in the show, the Phantom could dock with the Ghost whichever way you wanted, whether it be the cockpit facing back or the tail fin. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite hold true with the build. You can only put it in tail first. Try to put it in cockpit first. This section right here is just a bit too narrow in order to be able to pull that off. You might be able to modify it a bit to where you can get the Phantom to go in cockpit first, but as it is out of the box, it is just tail first. Fortunately, one of the nice things about this Ghost is that, unlike the previous version, this version opens up quite a bit. You've got the dome front, which can open up and can actually be fully separated. And you've got a good look at the gun turret and attached underneath, which is one of the key plate features. You've got a pretty good space for a gunner in there. One thing of note with the control stick is that an interesting piece usage is that they use the Inquisitor lightsaber hilt as one of the core pieces for the control stick. I thought that was a very cool, very unique use of that piece. So yeah, that just goes on there on that 1x2 plate with a jumper in the middle. So yeah, that's how that looks on the inside. You can just place a figure in there. I believe they show that with Lieutenant Beta. So we'll slap him in there. He goes on these two 1x3 jumpers with two plates with two jumpers each. So yeah, he goes on there pretty well. You don't have to. attach his hands to the control sticks, but even without them attached, he looks pretty good in there. One thing of note, when you take this section off and go to put it back, you do have to line up the gun with and this little slot here. Otherwise, the main plane function won't work, and that is these two spring-loaded shooters. Basically, all you have to do is move this large Technic rod side to side, and it will fire them off. And of note, one thing of note is that when you move that, it also moves the forward gun turret left and right. So it actually simulates that the gun is actually turning and firing. I love that. And it's a pretty interesting. The build to be able to get it do that is actually pretty interesting. Pretty fun build. Ooh, let me see. Do have to adjust the Technic rod a bit in order to get the shots back into the spring-loaded shooters. Just in case you do lose one, there is a third. As you can also open up the main cockpit and take off the entire top section as well in order to access the entire interior. The top gun, unlike the other version of the Ghost, can only move the guns up and down. You can't move it around like a full turret. But that does allow you to take off the entire top. The glass dome on this is movable. As you can see, there is space for a minifigure in there. No studs, so it makes it super easy to get your figure out of there. The box shows Lieutenant Hawking in there. First Officer Hawking in there, so we'll get him in there. So once you got him in there, it looks pretty good. The glass is a little dark, but he fits in there pretty good. And then you got the entire interior. Of course, there is space. He needs to put Hera in the controls at the main controls of the Ghost. So we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. And as you see, there is a pretty good size interior, including, believe it or not, a kitchen sink right in here. Or not something you really see in Star Wars ships all that often. And then next to that, you've got a little crate, and inside that crate, you find one of Hera's favorite snacks, a Melu Run food. Nice little Easter egg hidden in there. Whoop. Alright. You do see a couple of 1x2 jumper plates. It's in there. 1x2 plates with jumpers in the middle. That's actually where you're supposed to put the body of Chopper when you've got his head on top of the Phantom. So that's a nice little touch there. And you can also see a couple of caution stickers on the floor there, which is where people would come in and out if you from the docking ports. It's of course the main door for the Ghost is supposed to be behind the main turret. Unfortunately, both versions of the Ghost don't allow you to do that, but they do provide a couple of loading ramps and scenes on the sides, which actually goes which actually connects to those access ways. So nice little touch there. Like I said, there's quite a bit of room. And it is super easy to just reattach the top, fold it up, and you are good to go. Most of the stickers on this set are on here as well. You got 2 up here on the front. Unfortunately, there is one on the main cockpit glass. That is a little disappointing, especially if it's one of those times where you just can't get it lined up, because it does tend to leave a residue on the glass. Yes, and then you got some stickers over here on the sides, 2 on the top of the docking, 2 on top of the docking ports, and then 2 here in the back as well. Another interesting piece usage are these paint rollers over here on the side by the top gun turret. That's an interesting part usage. Also, back here for engine details, they got a hot dog piece in gray. Again, very interesting piece usage going on. Also, I do like the little bit of extra attention on these sides here with all the greebling. It's the same pattern on all 4 sections of the ship, but there's enough interesting piece usage and to make it look interesting. Here's how the bottom of the ship looks. You can see it's got 3 landing struts. So they are permanent. They are permanently attached. It's not like they're retractable. But they work pretty well. Keeps it off the ground just enough. And you can see how basically the entire first bag is nothing but Technic pieces just to get the basic skeletal structure correct. So pretty well done there as well. Also, you can see there are a couple of gaps. I'm guessing those are done to keep the weight off. So that is the full look at the Ghost itself. Pretty well done version of this ship. I know it's only the second time we've actually gotten this ship, but again, this is a pretty solid build for a much loved ship and from the Disney time of the Star Wars lore. As for all your extra pieces, you end up getting quite a bit more than I was expecting from even a $160 set. In fact, the piece mount is actually more closer to what I've come to expect for the Halo sets. As I said, you do get a 3rd shot for the spring-loaded shooters. You get an extra blaster pistol. They don't show the box doesn't show Lieutenant Hawken with one, so that's useful for him. You get another one of the gray hot dog pieces. Here's a metallic gray battle droid arm, which is used for engine detail. A black lightsaber hilt, which is used on the top gun turret. A lot of small piece is going on here. Like I said, quite a bit more than I was expecting. So that is everything in the set. Let's go on to my final review. Alright, so what do I think of this set? Well, if you guys haven't figured it out, I love it. I won't be surprised if most of the people buying this set specifically get it for the Ghost itself. Like I said, the legacy characters, Hera and Chopper, are nice, but on top of that, Jason is a good addition. But the other 2 figures, I won't be too surprised if most people forgot who they are. Honestly, I honestly forget how much of a role they play. It's been a while since I watched Ahsoka. But like I said, I won't be too surprised if most people are getting the Ghost, and I won't be the least bit surprised if they are not disappointed with this ship. It is a fantastic rendition of what's become a very much beloved ship in the Star Wars lore. Or, of course, getting the mini Phantom do it. Just really helps complete the set. The play functions are pretty good. One thing I did forget to note is that for as big a ship as it is, it does have some pretty good swooshability. I would recommend using both hands with this thing. It is pretty big, pretty heavy. Yeah, but swooshability is pretty good. The play features like the main gun and turrets are pretty good. Good, like I said, being able to attach the Phantom onto the Ghost hose is certainly a necessary addition, and this is a pretty solid set. Is it worth $160? Depends. And depends. I think. I'm not sure if I could really say it's worth $160. I mean, I got it for $130 during the May 4th promotion where it was $30 off. So I didn't have to pay full price. But I think the argument could be there. I know like the parts per piece people who are gonna say it's not because it's $160, but you only get about 1,400 pieces. So that's a bit over, but I don't think it's too reasonably over. But I don't think it's too reasonably over. If you can get this is at 140, I think you're doing pretty good. Like I said, like doing the 130 on during the May 4th promo was I'd say you're getting your money's worth. I think people might think it's a little low on characters for a $160 set, especially with you get like one more figure. I think one more figure with E-Wing and Shin Hati Starfighter, or wait, no, I think that's four figures because you get the E-Wing pilot, the droid, Shin Hati, and then her master. So that's four for a $110 set. But again, I feel like some people might say 5 figures for a $160 set might be might be a little short. But I'm honestly not sure what you would do for a 6th character. But anyway, personally, if I had to rate this thing, I'd probably give it a solid 9 out of 10. I love this thing. If you're a fan of the Ahsoka series or Rebels, I would certainly recommend you pick this ship up. It is fantastic. I think you're gonna love it. Anyway, that is the end of my review. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. You can check out some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later, everybody!